Hello everyone, I'm Dan.
I'm El.
And this is Two Blokes Having a Chat. And
Indeed.
this week we have gone for Ghostbusters on the Mega Drive.
Yes.
So this is another firm favourite of yours, I believe.
It is an absolute favourite of mine, mate.
So obviously you have a bit more knowledge about this game than I do. So
Yep.
do you want to explain a little bit about it?
Yeah, okay. Well, this was the first game I took home from the game store when I got my Mega Drive.
Cool. And when was that?
That was back in early 1990, I think it was around my birthday.
Okay.
And we got Altered Beast boxed in.
Yep.
And my dad said pick any game from the game store, and I took this one home. God bless him. And basically what was happening around the time was the Mega Drive was competing with the NES, as you know.
Yep.
And Sega didn't have a lot of the good big franchises that Nintendo had. They didn't have any Mega Mans, they didn't have any Contras, they didn't have any Metroids.
Yep.
And there were Ghostbusters games around at the time. There were Activision games on various home computers and consoles and things. And they all followed a similar sort of format where you're on a map screen, you drive around to infected buildings, usually kill a couple of ghosts, or capture a couple of ghosts rather in front of those buildings, and you buy equipment and you rinse and repeat. What Sega decided to do with this particular game, they got the license from Activision, got a little team together, and decided to make a platform shooter from scratch. And it turned into this game, and I think it's a really, really solid early Mega Drive title.
Well, it certainly looks pretty impressive for
It's
a
a
game at the
lovely
time.
game. Yeah, oh yeah, early 1990s. I mean, this was before Sonic came out. This was before. I mean, I think Golden Axe and Streets of Rage and Shinobi might have been around.
So the Mega Drive was still sort of in its infancy.
It was those sorts of years. Yeah, it was sort of those infantile years within the first couple of years, and I think it was. I think up until that point, if you looked at the roster, what was available, this is probably the best game they had at the time. It's got lovely cartoony graphics.
I was going to say it's quite nice. The art style that they've chosen for this game.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this was a Japanese developed game, which explains why it was such a such a good solid title for the time. I'm just going to take care of a boss here. Now, the way this game is structured, it's structured kind of like Mega Man as far as there's 4 houses. You can choose which one you want to go into at the beginning. And as you can see, it's got that little... it looks like Mega Man. It's the way you're just jumping around and shooting a little bit. You can equip different weapons and things just like in Mega Man. But it's also got a little bit of Metroid to it, in as far as each level is non-linear. There are a couple of smaller bosses within each level, and you have to take care of those smaller bosses before you can fight the main boss. And there's a little bit of contra to it as far as you can shoot up in diagonals and things. You can't shoot in all 8 directions, but you can crawl, and you can face one direction while you're crawling. So it's really nice tight controls, beautiful graphics, great sound, really well structured.
It's a nice little collection of games to sort of pull from.
Yeah,
if you're going to make a game.
Yeah, basically, I don't think individually it's as good as any one of those games, but they've taken the best elements, if you like. They've taken inspiration from the best aspects of all the best games that are available on the NES and pulled it into one and made a really decent title. I'm just getting some equipment here. I shouldn't have got that extra bomb and a tank. I can't afford the extra energy tank now. Yeah, rather than in Mega Man, obviously you defeat a boss, you acquire that boss's weapon. Doesn't happen in this. There's a monetary system and there's a couple of stores. There's a weapon store and an equipment store. The weapon I've just bought is my favourite weapon in the game. It's the 3-way shot, which is kind of like a spreader, if you're familiar with Contra, a spreader. And it does fantastic damage. The amount of damage it does doesn't change, but the fact that you've got a wide range, you don't have to be as accurate and you can get plenty of shots in. I'm just going to point out, for the sake of the video, I'm actually playing this game on easy mode at this time, which is one of my favourite difficulties. I don't actually like the normal mode on this. The normal mode is between knots and it's a little bit boring. Easy mode's good because you can just blaze through it. No effort whatsoever.
So if you just want a bit of fun, then you just want to...
A quick bit of shooting fun, and I thought that would actually benefit a short video because I could actually probably get more content into the game in a shorter period of time. Okay. Two of the best improvements on this particular difficulty setting are you can shoot multiple bullets at once. You're limited to 2 bullets on normal and 1 bullet on hard, I think, that could be on the screen at any one time. So you have to be more accurate with your shots, make every shot count.
Yeah, but I suppose you can see that challenge.
Yeah, I mean, it adds to the challenge, but it's not as fun. You can't blaze through it. You have to be a bit more cautious and play the game a little bit more slower. And I prefer having a good blast through. Another benefit of easy mode is you actually start with $5,000. On normal or hard, you don't have that money,
Zero.
Which means I can get weapons a little bit quicker in this game. So I can display some of the alternative weapons a little bit better as well. So it's fun to play on easy. Also, the challenge is really good on hard. It is actually really challenging on hard.
So basically, it basically caters for everyone.
Yeah, I mean, there are some games you play, you put it on normal and hard setting, there isn't too much difference between them. Here, you notice a lot of difference. So, and I find that the way you play the game on hard changes as well. Enemies take extra hits, so the alternative weapons actually matter a lot more. Yeah. For example, there's a fire weapon, I believe it's called a phaser. Now, in normal and easy, there's not much use for it because you can just fire multiple bullets and your normal shot does most of the work. But there are some tougher enemies in the later levels where that weapon really does help on hard. There's a bubble weapon where it doesn't actually kill the enemy, but it will fire it into the distance. Doesn't make much difference on easy or normal because you can just use your normal weapon, but when there's more stubborn enemies in the harder one, you can just get through them with a bubble weapon. So there's strategies. Different areas of the game require different weapons on hard. That doesn't really apply in these particular difficulty settings. You can do the majority of the game with your normal shot and this 3-way shot on the bosses, which is the way I like to play it. So.
No, definitely. I mean, obviously you were referring to the likes of your Contras and Metroids.
Yeah.
I mean, is this game on hard, difficulty-wise, or
No, not at all. This is this actually on reflection. I mean, I actually got this when I was 5 or 6, and my dad used to play this game. We used to play it together, take turns and things. But he'd play it more when I went to bed, and he got better at it. He'd really practice and he'd get further in it than I could. And then the following day, I'd wake up and he'd show me how far he'd got. He'd put it on, and he would show me some of the later stages in the game and things like that. But on reflection, it is actually laughably easy compared to, because we'd never played a console game up until that point, so we were getting to grips with the basics and things, and everything like that. But on reflection, this isn't a Nintendo hard game. It's laughably easy in comparison. Especially,
still fun nonetheless.
Oh, it's loads of fun. And like I say, if you put it on the hard difficulty, it is actually quite challenging. But yeah, if you're playing it on easy or normal, it is laughably easy. The average gamer can play through this game in about an hour. Maybe a little longer, but that sort of period of time. So what are your first impressions of it? What are you thinking of it so far?
No, it's definitely a nice looking game. So I like the artistic style of this.
Yeah.
Obviously a huge fan of the games that we mentioned, like the Contras and Metroids and so on.
Yeah.
So is it a shame?
If you like a good platform shooter, you've got no excuse. It's a great game.
I mean, it's a shame that I've sort of missed this one back in the day. So it's one I definitely need to sit down at some point and go through.
Yeah, you actually, because you collect games, don't you, as well as play them?
Yeah,
Do you have a copy of this that you've just not got round to yet? I think I've seen it on your shelf, haven't I?
Possibly.
I think you might have a loose cart.
I don't think it's boxed. I think there's a period where I went to some charity shops and I sort of grabbed a whole pile of stuff at the time.
I tell you what, if you fancy a charity shop, you are very, very lucky.
So, but again, it's just like everything, trying to find the time for sitting down and playing all these awesome retro games, along with all the sort of current gen stuff. And
that is actually quite difficult getting the balance these days. I've actually started playing Bioshock Infinite. My brother was shocked when he found out because I play so many retro games. Yeah, just catching up on a few modern ones. I really fancy playing some modern games at the moment, actually. I'm enjoying Bioshock Infinite. I'm about 12 chapters in, something like that.
Okay.
Which isn't very much. It's about for a couple of hours of gameplay. It's supposed to be one evening. One evening I've played, one full evening, and it's a really lovely game, actually. It's it feels like you're going on a nice date with drugs and shotguns. It's quite...
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
Quite frustrating.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
It's, no, unfortunately, it's another series that's kind of passed me by and I've not sort of had a chance to play.
I can highly recommend it. I'll show you a little bit later on.
That would be pretty cool. But yeah, so speaking of sort of current games, I think Fez is another one that you played recently. It's one that I've just completed this week.
Yeah, well, We say current.
Well, I know it's been out for a couple of years, but on the PS3.
Yeah, we're both in the PlayStation camp, aren't we? So we've had to wait for that one, unfortunately. I did download it actually on PC when it came out on PC at the end of last year, and unfortunately, the only PC that we've got at the moment, which is online, is an office laptop,
so
and it just doesn't have the graphics cards to manage it, which is a shame. But we finally managed to play it, and it was better because for a couple of months, for a couple of years rather, we were really looking forward to getting it. Really looking forward, and it got it, and it worked out really well.
The shot shows the talent that's out there at the moment for indie games. It's
Oh yeah. Oh, I mean, don't get me started on Phil Fish. I love the guy. I'm gutted that he's not making any more. I hope he comes back. I really hope he does some more games. He needs to do some more games.
I think it's just a matter of time before we hopefully see him again.
I hope so.
I mean, in all fairness to him, it took him 5-6 years to make Fez.
Was it that long?
I think so.
I know it was a good few years. I don't think it was as long as 5 or 6. I thought it was something like 3 or 4, but.
So maybe he just needs the break, I guess.
I hope so. I hope he does something because he's just such a lovely guy. I love him. Unpopular opinion, but I think he's a legend.
To be honest, I think I'm on a similar vein of thought as you are. I think he's someone that's maybe a little misunderstood, perhaps.
Yeah, well, most artists are, aren't they? We went off on a tangent there, didn't we?
Just a little bit, yeah. So anyway, I think we do have some gaming news for this week.
Yeah, enough from the Phil Fish Appreciation Society over here.
That's all 2 members of them.
Yeah.
So the first bit of news this week was the Xbox One and the Kinect being removed from the bundle.
Yes.
So bound to happen, I think.
Well, I'm surprised actually. I mean, the whole reason they had it mandatory. I mean, originally it was mandatory; it had to be hooked up, and then it just became a case of it's bundled in, so you've got it. If you've got an Xbox One, you've got the Kinect.
Yeah.
The idea was that it would encourage developers to develop for it.
Well, that's it. I mean, it was all part of their central entertainment system. It's supposed to
the whole integrated experience, and you can make games that benefited from it.
Which, from that respect, I can kind of see. But at the same time, what about giving the consumer the choice to state, I want this piece of kit, or I just want the console to play games?
Well, I think history. Well, it's hit and miss, really. I mean, I think more often than not, if you do give the consumer choice with gaming peripherals, you're more than likely going to get disappointment. Not disappointment as such, but if we think about the Mega CD, the 32X, and
but they were just atrocious anyway.
No. I mean, just anything that sort of adds on or bundles in any additional extra, you're limiting your markets. Therefore, developers are not as much inclined to. Basically, if you're releasing a game for a console, the maximum number of copies you're going to sell is how many copies of that console are available in the market. So the Wii U, there's 6 million in the world today that consumers have, so you're never going to break the 6 million mark. It's just not going to happen. If they release the Xbox One with an option of a Kinect, they sell, I don't know what the figures are, they sell 40 million Xbox Ones, they've sold 10 million Kinects. If you release a game that's dependent on a Kinect, you've limited yourself from 40 million to 10 million.
10 million.
That was the logic of making a mandatory Kinect, or not mandatory, but including a Kinect with every copy. People will be encouraged to develop for it. Now they're given the option, they've just killed that whole strategy dead. And do you think this is actually going to affect developers? Do you think they're not going to bother including?
Well, to be honest, I was looking through a list the other day of the sort of games that the Xbox One has at the moment, which is Kinect only. You can only play the game with the Kinect. And it was only stuff like Zumba. Exactly.
Sorry, I don't mean to laugh.
What was it? One by Rare, Kinect's the Rival, or whatever it was called.
Okay.
It was basically all games of that sort of aim.
Right. Okay.
So Titanfall, for instance, I don't think requires the Kinect to play. You might be able to use it for certain bits, but
little audio signals and things like that.
In terms of being an actual integral part of the game, I don't believe it's actually part of it. So if you've got big games like this which aren't actually using the piece of kit, what was the point in the first place?
I don't know. I mean, unfortunately, this gaming has problems. Like console gaming has problems with innovation. Really, if you try to do something new, or at least the last couple of years, it usually blows up in your face. I mean, portable games are different kettle of fish. I think the 3DS has done rather well, hasn't it?
Yes, I mean, obviously, it was a bit like the Wii U at first, but I think for the first year it didn't quite sell anything, and then all of a sudden it just exploded onto the scene. But
sorry, hang on, what, the Wii U?
Oh, sorry, did you say the 3DS?
I said the 3DS, mate, yeah.
Yeah, so the 3DS in the first year.
Sorry, you said Wii U just now, that confused me. Sorry,
sorry.
Carry on, mate.
No,
so it was a slow burn, basically.
Yeah.
It came out, and it sold some copies, and then it sold a lot more copies, and now a lot of people have got it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Cool.
But going to the point of the peripherals, I think, obviously, if they're going to come and create your Kinect, your Wii U gamepad, and so on, they need to make use of it. And I think that's been an issue, for instance, for the Wii, where you look at the game like Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze.
Yeah.
The game didn't use the pad at all.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Do consumers want to use those? I mean, there's certain circumstances where I played the original Kinect on the original 360. I thought it was great. I loved it. I actually got a Stitch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm really getting into it. And I thought it was fun for novelty. I can't actually take advantage of anything like that. Where I live in a flat, I live on a first floor flat. So there's the ground floor. For any Americans, first floor doesn't mean you're on the ground floor. It means you're on the floor above. So if I was to get a Kinect, I'll more likely come through the ceiling. All the running and stomping about and things. And there isn't a great distance between where we've got the room set up, width-wise. The sofa is actually quite close to the TV. We haven't got enough room to be running about and jumping and all that sort of thing.
Sure.
If I was back at my house, I've got a nice big living room and it was on the ground floor, that's different. I could take advantage of a Kinect, but a Kinect isn't practical with my particular setup. So that's all I've got to say about that. So I personally, my gaming experience, I need a control pad. I need to sit down with... I'm not completely averted to motion controls. I usually prefer... It depends on the type of game I'm playing, but usually I prefer a control. So I'm gutted that the Wii U didn't include the Pro Controller. That would have made so much difference. I think it would have
at the bottom of the machine.
I think it would have changed people's perception of the machine as well, knowing that you can just have a normal... Because the thing is, it's such a good control pad. You've got the analog sticks, which are, parallel to each other on the top. They need to make a really good first-person shooter for the Wii.
Definitely.
Because that pad would... Damn, I died.
People at Retro, if you're listening, Metroid.
Oh, yeah, don't get me started. I would love to play the original Metroid Prime. The problem with Metroid... I love Metroid Prime, but you need to hold down a shoulder button to turn. Or to actually...
To lock on and strafe.
Yeah, exactly, to straighten things. If they did, it's never going to happen, Metroid Prime HD, you taking advantage of the Pro Controller, because obviously all the buttons on the Pro Controller on the tablet control anyway, so it's not as if, if you haven't got a Pro Controller, it doesn't matter, you can still play the game.
Well, I think I was back to the original point that we were making, it's about consumer choice. You allow them to have the motion control, but at the same time just give them a standard loader. I've
just remembered I've not set the timer for this.
No, that's fine.
How far in are we?
We're this far.
Okay. Thank you.
No, that's fine. Moving on.
Yeah,
so yes, Xbox Connect with the camera removed, I think it's a good thing.
I'm not sure.
In the sense that it gives people choice.
I think it's definitely good that the console is coming out again in June. They're re-releasing it in June without it, and it's going to be $100 cheaper. I don't know how that equates into...
It was about £350, I think it's going to be without the Kinect.
So they're probably going to sell some more units, so that's good. It gives a bit more market choice. If there's more consoles available, more developers will be inclined to develop, and that's good for the gaming community as a whole.
Sure.
Is it good to take out your mandatory peripheral but essentially kill off a lot of the development for it? I don't know.
I suppose time will tell. That would be the deciding factor, really.
Yeah, but I think I don't really want an Xbox One anyway. But if I did, I would be happier getting it without the Kinect.
As I think a lot of people probably will be as well.
I would sooner get that extra $100 and buy a couple of games than a peripheral. Because if a game came out that had the peripheral, I could always get it optionally down the line anyway.
Sure.
I'm guessing.
Exactly.
So yeah, although I did wish the Wii U came with a Pro Controller instead of the tablet. The tablet's good for off-screen. Not necessarily for the touchscreen. I don't like the touchscreen and stuff, but if there's somebody in the house that's watching the TV and you fancy playing a bit of your Wii U, even if it's just like a virtual console game, you can just sit up on the sofa with that and you can play and you can have fun and it'll make no odds to you. But I love the Pro Controller. I sound like that bloke on the Power Glove from the Wizard, I love the Pro Controller. It's bad.
Anyway, moving on to the next piece of news then, is apparent news of a new next-gen game coming out from Rockstar.
Yeah, and I know what I hope it is.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
What's your anticipation?
Well, a couple of years ago, there was rumours that they were doing Bully 2, and I love the first Bully. Canis Canem Edit, Scholarship Edition, whatever you want to call it. I think Bully is a great game, loads of fun. I had a lot of fun. I've completed it a couple of times actually. I completed it on PS2 when it first came out. Then I got the 360 edition, which I think is the best edition. If you haven't played it or bought it already, you can download it on the PSN network. You can get the PS2 version.
Yep.
You can get it on 360. You can get it on Wii. I haven't played it on Wii because, like I say, I'm not too keen on playing that game with motion controls.
For you, the definitive version is on the 360.
Yeah, it's HD and it's got all the extras that you get in Scholarship Edition, and you get a nice control pad to play it with. It is the definitive version of that game, in my opinion. So I hope it's Bully 2 personally. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that are hoping for a GTA 5 remastered edition or a Red Dead
that seems to be
game.
the common sort of rumour.
I'm actually probably in the minority hoping it's Bully 2, but I know what I want it to be, and if it is, I'll be happy. I don't know how anyone else feels about that. Put in the comments what you want to see from Rockstar on the next gen. What do you want to see from? Do you want to see another GTA? Or?
I think it won't be a new GTA in terms of. I don't think it'll be like a GTA 6. If it is GTA, it's either a HD remake, or it would be like what they did with GTA 4, where I think it was like Stories of Liberty Cities.
Yeah, some new stories in the map,
sure.
Which it wouldn't hurt. It's a great map. And they put a lot of effort into it, and they're doing a lot with it with the whole GTA Online. There's put so many additional extras and missions and things you can purchase, so that would work on the next gen console.
Exactly.
I'm sure it'll look nice. I mean, it looked nice on the previous gen, so I'm sure it'll look nice on the next gen.
That's if it's GTA, but I'm not sure if it is a GTA game. Like you, I think it's probably going to be like a sequel to one of their other franchises, so maybe like a Red Dead 2 or...
Red Dead did so well on the previous gen that I would not be surprised if they want to take advantage of that franchise. They should definitely do another one later on the line anyway.
Sure.
If it's this one, I didn't put a lot of effort into Red Dead. I mean, I played a little bit of it at the beginning and it was cool, but I had so many other games to play, so I kind of missed out on that one. So yeah, I wouldn't be averted to it. It'd be good if it was Red Dead. I'd love it to be Manhunt 3, but I know that will never happen in a million years. They had so much trouble getting Manhunt 2 actually released. They had to make edits and it got banned in certain places. It's still banned in certain places even with edits. I don't think you can get it in Australia at all. I don't think. I might be wrong there, but I'd be shocked if you could. So I think the Manhunt series is dead, which is a shame because I had a lot of fun with that series. It's
right for a street movie, isn't it?
It was a sick, sadistic. I mean, the stories were. I mean, that was remember, it's a good few years old now. I didn't know a game could do that. I didn't know survival horror could be that much fun. I mean, I think a lot of people went to Resident Evil before I was and things, so they sort of got that sort of feeling from it. But it was just so gritty. If you like films like Saw or 8mm, which I like, them sort of horror thriller films, Manhunt's right up your street. I still prefer the first one to the second one, I think, if I'm honest. I was absolutely hyped when the second one came out. I remember getting it imported from Hong Kong before it came out in England. And I actually got a PSP edition, which I think was because of region problems. I thought if I got it on any other console, there'd be region locking problems. But PSP I knew would work, so I got a PSP version. I remember the day I got it, my family were taking me out for a meal somewhere, and we had to take a bit of a car journey into London. And my mum said, "Oh, parcel's come for you." I said, "Oh, Mum, bring my PSP, bring my parcel." And unwrapped it in the car, and I was really unsociable the whole car journey with my family in it, and I'm playing Manhunt 2 frantically in the back of the car, trying to get as much in as possible before this meal.
Well, that's dedication for you.
Yeah, a great series. And I was hyped because I spent so long playing the first one. Did complete the first one actually, it was a great game.
So, so we'd probably say it's not Manhunt.
Yeah, no, it's not going to be Manhunt.
Probably not a new GTA, so it's basically anything in between.
Well, it's not going to be a completely new GTA, but there's every chance it could be a GTA, like it's a story mode or something to do with a map or a remastered version, which would work. Mind you, would a remastered version work because so many people bought it the first time? Is that economically feasible to do because everyone bought it?
Well, this is it. I mean,
it was one of the fastest selling. Was it one of the fastest selling games at the time when it came out, or one of the most eagerly anticipated? I mean, it broke records, didn't it?
I think pretty much it was everything you could probably beat a record on.
Yeah.
But,
so maybe it wouldn't be
it's
worth
a fair
doing
point.
that. I mean, especially releasing it now. It's not been long since the original version's come out. So if they were to release If they were to release one a little bit further down the line, so people have had a break from it, maybe for people who want to replay it.
Sure. I don't know, it's a strange one to tell. I mean, like, for instance, you get like the Tomb Raider remake and the Last of Us remake, so it's not unfeasible, but like you say...
I suppose a lot of people did buy The Last of Us. I need to get The Last of Us, because everyone's going on about it.
Sure,
I'm behind on so many games. I mean, I've started Bioshock Infinite, I need to get The Last of Us.
But it's too busy playing Ghostbusters.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Speaking of which, I think it's about time. I'm going to do one more boss. I've done the first 4 houses. And then I think we should call it a day. I think we might be approaching 20 minutes, 25 minutes, half an hour.
Sure, okay.
I know the internet is going to start glitching up if we're going for too long, so I'm just going to kill this boss and then we'll call it a day.
Looks like to sneeze.
Yeah, it looks like I'm spraying him with pepper, so... So, final thoughts on
Final
Ghostbusters?
thoughts is definitely one that I have to catch up on at some point. It looks like a really solid shooter.
Yeah.
It looks pretty fun.
I loved it at the time, still love it. The Kinect's being disabled, possibly a good thing for the discount, and I'm hoping for Bully 2, and you're hoping just for any Rockstar game that's good.
Basically.
Cool. In a nutshell.
Exactly.
So, thank you for tuning in.
Yep. I've been Daniel.
Oh, hang on. I just want to say a quick shout out to His and Hers LP. Who were very kind enough to watch our first video, comment on our first video. Samuel Victor, who's a great guy, check him out. He does all kinds of things. He does movies, he does hip hop, some very good hip hop by the way. And who else? And to our friend Thomas, who commented on the last video. God bless him, in the Netherlands.
So. All the way in the Netherlands. Hola. Or what they say then.
Take care of yourselves.
I've been Dan.
I've been El.
And we'll catch you next time.
See you around. Take care.
Bye.